80s were weird, man.
Mm-hmm.
My parents are like a bit of old souls, but they were really in their prime in the 80s, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I just learned too, my dad was telling my cousin that when he first started his business, I was already born, but they were doing cocaine in the business.
In the business?
Yeah, he said we were grooming dogs doing coke every day. He said we used to have an intern come out of the bathroom, said it looked like getting a snowball fight in there. Just grooming dogs and doing blow. Said there wasn't a week that went by we didn't buy an 8-ball.
That is wild.
I was like, dude, I was a baby. That's so irresponsible. Like, come on. That's like most people's natural stopping points. And I was the second child.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was the first and they were like, well, throwing it down once we get the second. Like, no, I came 4 years later.
Yeah.
And they were still just blowing rails in a dog shop. Can you imagine being with your wife, an intern, and your 2 young kids living upstairs, just bathing a Cocker Spaniel, like, woo! Yeah! Let's get this fucker clean!
Next dog!
What is this, a Chihuahua?
Can we smoke in here? The dog smoking a cigarette. Licking his nose.
That was my first word.
Bucko was your first word?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
I swear on my life.
Like, wait, this is like real?
Yeah.
This is like a real story?
Yeah.
Your first word was bucko?
I had never spoken before, and that's why it's my first word. I was in the car with my mom, and she like yelled at someone that like cut her off, and I called the car a bucko. Said, hey, bucko. I said that was my first word.
That makes so much sense for you. You really have been the same dude like your whole life.
10 toes down, baby.
Your first word was bucko?
Yep.
That's cool.
And my mom called me Buck until I was like 10 or 11. It was like my little kid nickname. I even had a shirt that said it.
What? Well, the shirt said my mom calls me Buck?
No, it said Buck. And it was kind of in like the Milwaukee Tools font. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you never used a tool in your life. I used to eat a lot of chapstick.
You used to eat chapstick?
Like, you know, the kids' chapstick, Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper,
yeah, it was
Skittles,
like edible, yeah.
Wring out the whole tube. My teeth would get all waxy. It was edible, you know what I mean? It's like
it's edible, so it's not dangerous to eat.
Give you a bellyache.
I mean, I'm sure it would. That's what I mean. It's edible. Like, if you found out your kid broke into your purse and took your chapstick and ate it, it's not an issue or you have to take them to the hospital.
Right.
But it's not like food.
No. And it got to a problem. Like, I was addicted.
You were addicted to eating chapstick?
Yeah. I'd steal my sister's.
What was your favorite flavor?
Skittles. The Skittles chapstick.
Skittles, man. It's the same price to get a bag of Skittles.
Yeah, but they weren't soft and waxy like that. You're missing the point, man. It was like a forbidden sensation.
Yeah.
I was like on a next level of candy. I took candy flavor and put it on something that no one else was consuming and became addicted to it.
You never cease to amaze me. I think I know everything about you, and then I hear something that I just like, I know that's real.
Yeah, totally. I have a vivid memory of stealing my sister's chapstick that she got for her birthday and running behind our shed in our yard and spinning the tube out by myself like a junkie. And it would get so big that sometimes it would start to fall and I'd have to get it before it hit the ground. And I ate it and my parents knew exactly that I did it. And I was like, my teeth are like waxy and full of shit. I was like, what are you talking about? And they were like, you are fucked up. You have to stop. My sister was like crying like a little baby. Look at that little goat. That kind of looked like my old goat Strudel.
You had a goat named Strudel?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That was the one I butt heads with.
You butted heads with the goat?
Yeah.
Really?
I used to stand across the garage. Or not the garage, the barn, rather. And I would just, all I'd have to do as a kid is like wipe my feet on the ground twice. And if she was on the other side of the barn, she'd turn around, do the same thing, run at me. She was a pygmy goat, just like that.
Do you ever get a concussion?
I think I did as a kid. And then like after my mom got hip to what I was up to out in the barn for so long, she started making me wear a bike helmet. And I swear, then it like unleashed, I was like, oh, this is so fun. It doesn't hurt. And then like I had the bike helmet on for a week and I was like, how was I doing this?
Without one?
Yeah, because it started to even hurt with the bike helmet.
Oh, no.
And I was like, what was wrong with me like 2 weeks ago?
Did the goat ever get hurt?
No, God, no. They got heads like rocks. Like it's like a whole ass cocoa nut.
Okay, last question about the goat thing. Did you ever refer to the goat as Goatster Strudel?
Goatster Strudel. No, I did not. I wasn't that witty as a child.
Okay.
I said, could you come over here? Yeah, I said stuff like that.
If you ever get a time machine, you can go back and go, Goatster Strudel, and then kind of come back, whip back to the, you know, the present.
Striped tail.
Yeah.
Leathery hands, too. I went to a little, like, animal cruelty zoo one time.
What?
I went to like one of those little turnpike zoos. You know, they used to
Called a petting zoo.
No, this was definitely an animal cruelty zoo. This was like someone's backyard and they had like old chicken wire fences up and they had exotic animals that shouldn't have been there. Those kind of things used to exist more than they do now. And there's a sick old lemur there that you could feed dog food to. There was dog food in a gumball machine and you could pay 50 cents and you get a handful of dog food and you could feed some of the sickly primates here that this person had. They were being cruel to. They lived in mud and stuff. I went to feed him. You're holding the food out. And instead of taking the food, he just went like this. And he held and rubbed my hands with his soft, leathery hands, and the food fell out. And we stayed there holding hands until my grandma came up and she started crying because she saw a little monkey hold my hands. She said, we gotta go. It got sad there. It got real sad. And I was like, why was the monkey so sad? I was little. Why the monkey so sad? I have one big tooth. Why the monkey so sad? That's what I said. My grandma said, it's a sick, cold world and you got a lot to learn. And then she put a Glock 9 in my back pocket. Most of that story's true. Did you know in high school, right as I graduated, I stole the baritone sax from the band room?
You stole a baritone sax from school?
From school and sold it for $4K. Well, my mom finessed it too. My mom helped me sell it for $4K. Stole a bari sax.
This is real.
Yeah. A baritone sax is about yay big.
I was going to say.
It needs it has a stand for the ground. So you can like it's a really horrific instrument.
Did you play the baritone sax?
No.
So you just stole an instrument you didn't play
Yes.
from the band room at your public high school.
Yes, and I needed help carrying it because it's so large. So my sister pulled up with a truck. She had already graduated. She kind of like hung around the schoolyard doing burnouts and smoking cigs.
Yeah.
She's like, what's up, losers?
Your sister's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So she helped me load it in the back of her truck and we took it kind of as a last-ditch revenge against Mrs. Bing. The band teacher was super mean.
Okay.
When we told my mom, or when she found out, she was like, what's this giant horn doing in here? And we explained it to her. I thought we were going to be in trouble. She was like, how much is it worth? And I was like, I don't know. They're selling online for like $3,000-$4,000. And she was like, put it up there. And so we sold it. And then we used that money to like pay for a graduation party type deal. If you ever wonder why your public school's music department is like lacking in funding, it's because of dirtbags like me and my sister.
And your mom.
And my mom. We were poor too. So 4Gs was like tax season twice in 1 year. Did I tell the story about how I got offered an Uzi at a trailer park before?
No. Is this real?
Yeah, it's real.
Okay.
Fresh out of high school, I was still buying weed from some of my old like country connects, you know?
Yeah.
I hit up my friend who lived in a trailer park. No big deal. We chilled and smoked with him plenty of times. And after we did the purchase, on our way out, he said, hey, yo, guys, wait up. I said, what's up? Wheezy is what we call him. This is his nickname. He said, do you guys want an Uzi? And I looked at my friend Hunter and I was like, kind of. I was like, you mean like a gun? He's like, yeah, I got one that I got to get rid of, which is usually
not a good sign.
Not a good sign, but it's a great deal. Usually.
Totally. Yeah.
And he opened up the trunk of his car, and sure enough, there was an Uzi in there with an extendo clip, and he said, here you go. Be careful if you guys want to fire it. I filed the firing pin down, and it empties the clip in about 1 second. And at that point, I was like, oh, I can't even touch this thing.
Yeah,
this is like a live wire. And I said, you know what, Wheezy, it sounded great in theory, but I can't have a machine gun with the serial number filed down as well as the firing pin. So I passed on it, and sometimes I still think back on it.
You could have had an absolute death machine on you.
All gone. You couldn't even aim it. I used the Silk Road a couple times.
Yeah, you did that in college, right?
I had 16 Bitcoin at one point that I bought 2 grams of Molly with.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, that would be crazy. You know how much that would be nowadays.
I don't want to know. No, I hear it's a lot, but I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I hear it's worth more Molly these days.
Yeah.
Than 2 grams.
Yeah.
I hear you could buy all the Molly in this state with it.
Yeah.
That's so stupid, man.
It was stupid good Molly. I
Yeah.
fucking rolled my ass off.
Yeah.
It was totally worth it.
Who am I to say?
You know, some days the universe gives you just a conundrum. 2 grams of Molly or a house in 10 years.
If I could buy a house on the Silk Road, I would have done it years ago with all that Bitcoin.
Yeah.
What?
It's $1.1 million.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Whoops. Whoopsie.
We just got some information from off screen. 16 Bitcoin is $1.1 million.
Whoops. Whoopsie. You can't look at life that way. You can't look in the past and say, oh, I used to have a Dreamcast and now it's rare. You know what I mean? It's like, so what? So what?
I would have a tough time getting past that.
Oh, don't be crypto. You know what I mean? It's like, get out of here. I got an experience and I enjoyed that experience and now I have serotonin syndrome. So it's like, I got something out of it I'll have for the rest of my life.
Yeah.